It's a stormy night. A man is working on his laptop. The doorbell rings and a man in a yellow raincoat attacks him. He stabs the guy. The man in the raincoat escapes and burns his clothes. The next day, the police investigate the crime scene. The policemen make a prediction of how the crime happened. They all fear Inspector Shivani, who shows up. She explains how she envisions the crime happened. ACP Yadav arrives. Shivani thinks the motive for the murder was personal. Inspector Shivani interviews the victim's sister. The victim's name was Akash. She says he wasn't associated with any bad people, as he was new here. He had come back from the USA to settle in India after his divorce. He wanted to start a tech company and took 20 lakhs from the family account. They check the safe and see that the 20 lakhs are missing. Shivani interviews the rest of the residents, but no one seems to be a suspect in the murder. One of the residents was with his girlfriend on the balcony opposite Akash's house and took a selfie, accidentally with the suspect in the background. Shivani shows ACP Yadav the photo. He is surprised, as he knows that guy. His name is Arjun Sehgal and he's an engineer. Arjun is taken to the police station for questioning. He is confused about why he is there. Yadav wants to know what his problem is with Akash. But Arjun doesn't know Akash. Yadav asks where Arjun was on Wednesday night and he answers that he was at his office party. He knows that ACP Yadav is trying to frame him, as he has a personal grudge towards him. He is beaten up for not wanting to talk. Arjun left the party at 10:30 p.m., but returned home at 2 a.m. He explains that he had a flat tire and his jack was broken. ACP Yadav wants to know what Arjun was doing on Akash's balcony that night. He is shocked, as that's not him. ACP Yadav is called. He is shocked to see another guy who looks just like Arjun. He is known as Ronnie, but his real name is Suraj. He was taken to the police station because he was drunk and fought with the police. We are then taken to 3 months earlier, where Arjun was following his love interest, named Janvi. Each morning, they used the same elevator and were the last ones left. One morning, he asked her for coffee, but she replied that he asked the wrong question. If he can ask the right one, she'll give an answer. Arjun thought hard and then realized what he asked wrong. He asked her if she would like tea. Finally, it was the right question. On their date, Arjun asks her why she just couldn't tell him that she prefers tea. She was having fun misleading him. Arjun introduces himself, when Janvi interrupts, as she already knows a lot about him. It turns out she had been equally interested in him. After some time, Arjun and Janvi are in a relationship. Meanwhile, Ronnie is a scheming guy. He and his friend, Chadi, stole an ATM and are trying to negotiate a deal with a criminal, Lakhani. He knows someone who can open it, but the contents need to be divided equally. Lakhani tells him to leave the ATM and he'll get the guy to open it the next day. Ronnie doesn't want the deal, but Lakhani reminds him that he knows they've stolen the ATM. He hands them 2 lakh rupees to remind Ronnie and Chadi that they can trust him, as he promised to open the ATM in Ronnie's presence. But Lakhani breaks his promise and the guy opening the ATM tells them it's fake notes. Lakhani is very angry, while Ronnie is happy he got away with it. Arjun shows Janvi his company's first construction. She is very proud of him. She talks to him about her life. Her father passed away when she was young. Her mother remarried and they moved to Dubai. But she came back to India, since nowhere else felt like home. Janvi tells Arjun that she is going to Mumbai for her college reunion. After that she will go to Dubai to surprise her mom for her 10th wedding anniversary. Arjun is disappointed that she'll miss his project opening. She wants him to come with and tell her mom about their relationship. Arjun is shocked that her mother doesn't know already. She keeps sending Janvi potential matches. Arjun gets jealous and makes a joke out of it. Janvi gets upset and leaves. Meanwhile, Ronnie and Chadi are abducted by Lakhani. He tells them they should have done more homework before messing with him. Lakhani gives them 7 days to come up with 25 lakhs, otherwise he will hurt Chadi. Janvi is at the airport, getting ready to leave for Mumbai. Arjun shows up. He can't come with but proposes to her. Sometime later, it's Arjun's office party. He needs to leave his own party, because he has important business in the morning. Back in the present, the police officers try to get information out of Suraj. They try to beat him up, but he outsmarts them by telling them that assaulting someone in custody is a criminal offense. The police officers think he sounds like a lawyer. They refuse to beat him. Meanwhile, Shivani tries to piece together who committed the crime. ACP Yadav tells the police they have 2 days to find out whether Suraj or Arjun committed the crime. He instructs them not to let the 2 suspects find out about each other. Shivani inspects Arjun and Ronnie and discovers that both of them have the same cut on their arms. They have different stories to how they got the cuts. Shivani asks Mr. Roddy why Arjun claims that ACP Yadav is trying to frame him. He explains that many years ago, Yadav's daughter eloped with a guy from a different caste. Arjun was the friend who helped them. Yadav filed a kidnapping case against Arjun. But he was found innocent. Yadav still doesn't know where his daughter is. He just wanted a chance to get back at Arjun. Earlier, Suraj and Arjun's DNA samples were sent in. Shivani is called to the lab right away. Meanwhile, Arjun and Suraj manage to escape from their cells. They start fighting. At the same time, the scientist tells Shivani that Suraj and Arjun's DNA matches 100% with each other. She doesn't understand how that could be possible. The only explanation is that they are identical twins. Yadav interviews Arjun and Rani. When they were children, everything was perfect. When they were 8 years old, there were problems between their parents. Their mother wanted to give them everything, but the budget was tight. So, she started gambling to make more money. Soon, she became addicted to it. Their father scolded her for her gambling. Soon there was a divide. Their father loved Arjun more, while Suraj sided with his mother. One day, their father filed for divorce. She was kicked out of the house and forced to leave her children. On their birthdays, she would show up at their school. But their father was angry, wanting her to stay away from the kids. One day, wasn't allowed to talk to them until the morning, and she passed away that night. That's when Suraj changed and became a troublemaker. When they were teenagers, their fighting got worse. They were both sent to a mental facility. One of the boys stabbed the doctor with a pen. To this day, they still don't know which one attacked the doctor. Arjun tells the police that Suraj had caused a lot of trouble for him. He had stolen money for gambling, as well as their father's law books, which is why he knows so much about law. Arjun says that Suraj had always been jealous of his success. Shivani tells Yadav that she thinks Suraj is the guilty one, but he demands evidence, as he thinks Arjun is guilty. Shivani is told that Suraj was under a debt of 20 lakhs, which he paid the morning after the murder. Yadav told Roddy to withhold with information. Shivani is furious. Yadav suspects Rani of stealing the money, but he tells him that he had won it by playing cards. Mr. Bhatia confirms that Rani had been gambling at his house all night. Yadav is called back to the police station, because Shivani has evidence. Shivani shows him the taxi driver, who can confirm he helped Arjun that night. This upsets Yadav. Finally in court, the verdict is decided. The judge knows that one of them is guilty, but because they do not know which one, both cannot be punished. He declares them both not guilty. A few weeks later, Shivani goes through old case files of missing persons. She sees that Janvi had gone missing and that she was Arjun's girlfriend. She looks for her at her friend, Divya's apartment. Divya tells her that Janvi doesn't live there anymore. Janvi and Arjun were in a serious relationship. She had gone to Mumbai for her college reunion, but messaged her that she was now with someone else. Divya showed these messages to Arjun, but he didn't believe this. He knew that Janvi would never do this. Divya says everyone saw her leave the party with her ex-boyfriend from college. His name was Akash Sardana, the guy who had been murdered. Then we are taken back to the night of the murder. Arjun was furious, asking where Janvi was. Akash told Arjun that he and Janvi still love each other and planned on getting married. Then Akash fights back and is angry that Janvi only wanted Arjun. He tells Arjun the truth. He spiked Janvi's drink at the reunion party. All he wanted was for her to say that she loved him. He gave her too many drugs and she overdosed. She still believed that Arjun would save her. Akash paid 20 lakhs to cover everything up. That's when Arjun lost control and killed Akash. In the present, Shivani talks to the doctor at the mental facility where the brothers went. He tells her they fought like dogs, but would do anything to help each other when someone came between them. Arjun and Suraj meet up. Suraj tells Arjun that it's impossible for something to happen in Arjun's life without him knowing. Suraj heard that Janvi was missing and Akash was murdered. He thought of asking Arjun, but the police had already taken him into custody. Suraj made a plan to also be taken into custody and acted drunk. Suraj made Shivani suspicious of him on purpose. Now Shivani realized they played her. Rani made Shivani believe that Arjun was innocent, so she created false evidence to prove his innocence. Rani explains that now she can't do anything. Arjun wants to know why Suraj did all this to help him. He replies that he did everything for their mother. She had always taught Suraj that he and Arjun will always be brothers and need to be there for each other. He wants to move on now. Arjun is leaving the house with Suraj. After Janvi, there's nothing left for him here anymore. They say their goodbyes. This movie is based on real stories of identical twins around the world, where one committed a crime and both were found not guilty.